Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining us here today. I'm, of course, Gregor Guy.
My name's Casey.
And for your viewing and educational purposes, we will be presenting the next episode of BangHead History. I almost said STEM.
Right. I mean, it is kind of science related as well. So.
Okay. I mean, fair enough. So I'll just go ahead and toss it over to you, man. What are we going to be learning about this week?
Today we're learning about the Spanish flu. The Spanish flu occurred in 1918 to 1919. It infected an estimated 500 million people globally, and this amounted to about 33% of the world's population. So about a third of the world's population was infected at some point during 1918, 1919 with the Spanish flu.
Just infected.
Infected,
okay.
not
okay.
passed away.
Fair enough.
It did, however, kill about 25, an arguable 25 to 50 million people. And 675,000 of those deaths occurred in the United States.
Okay.
And these are all estimates. This isn't like hard.
Right. Yeah. Obviously, their record keeping wasn't top notch back in the day.
It didn't have. It wasn't 100% record keeping. There was other factors, and we'll get to that later in the video.
Okay. Fair enough.
All right. So let's start. With fact number one, because the Spanish flu occurred during World War I, the countries involved in the war suppressed the extent of the virus in their countries. So that is why the records keeping wasn't such the best, because everybody was lying to confuse their enemy, so that their enemies didn't know 100% what was happening.
Okay, that's fair.
So it was hypothesized. So did it come from Spain? Is one of the questions. There was hypotheses on that it suggested it could have come from East Asia. It could have come from Europe, and it could have even come from Kansas. So they don't even know where it occurred. But here's the thing. There is the first United States...
Before you even get into that, is there a possibility that this came from a lab in Wuhan?
No.
Okay, fair enough. There you go. You heard it first. Spanish flu, not from Wuhan.
But here's the thing. The first time it was known to be in the United States, the first person was named Albert Gitchell, the first person known to be infected. His name was Albert Gitchell.
They actually know the guy's name, right. The first case in the U.S.?
He was a U.S. Army cook at Camp Funston in Kansas.
Camp what?
Funston.
Okay. I thought you said something else.
So, and he was hospitalized with 140-degree fever, and the virus quickly spread through the Army installation. So there is a high possibility that this began in Kansas.
Okay, fair enough. Now, is Fort Funtown or whatever the hell it is?
I don't know if that's still Kansas. Yeah, that is in Kansas.
Okay, fair enough.
All right, fact number two: the Spanish flu is a strain of the H1N1 virus that originates in birds and is a type of flu. There's 4 types of flus. There's A, B, C, and D. Now, let's get into the differences of these strains.
That's good, because I'm interested.
Right. Strain A, which is typically the one that is spread around the world and becomes an actual issue. So basically the difference is what the strain infects. So the strain A infects not only humans, but it also affects birds, pigs. Basically, it infects a wide array of different creatures. Influenza type B is one that is typically only found in humans. Influenza type C mainly occurs in humans, but is also occurred in dogs and pigs, and influenza D is found mainly in cattle. So the differences in the strains are what the strains can infect.
Okay.
Its limitations on infecting a different species of animal.
So I mean, you may or may not answer this, but in particular, like let's just take that D strain.
Right.
So more than likely that particular strain will not infect like birds and humans.
Correct. It will only infect generally cattle, cows, pigs, things farm life. You know what I mean?
Farm animals.
I mean, even possibly deer but it's not infecting humans. It's not infecting birds.
Okay.
Right. It's sticking to the species.
Just wanted to clarify.
Right. It's sticking to the species that it is occurring in. Fact number 3: it is widely believed that the war created ideal circumstances for more aggressive strains of the virus. So these people are living in very close proximity to each other during wartime in the trenches.
Especially if you think about like World War I conditions.
Right. And the conditions for hygienic conditions are not very good. So it's basically just a lab in itself of these men living in the dirty conditions where you're exposed to the elements. Your body, your antibodies are kind of probably very
on top
weak.
of that, I would have to assume that your immune system is slightly already compromised.
Right.
Because of the conditions that you are, as you have put, living in.
Correct. It was basically just a soup for creating different strains of the virus.
A mud soup.
Right. Fact number 4. The pandemic occurred in 3 waves. The first wave was generally a mild seasonal flu. The second wave, which occurred later that summer, which was the most deadly wave. And then there was a third wave that occurred in the winter of 1918 and throughout 1919. It wasn't really... We didn't have the medical facilities back then to treat. We didn't have any kind of vaccines. Mm-hmm. We didn't have flu shots back then. Basically, it was untreated, other than the fact that people were told to wash their hands, keep their distance, and be hygienically aware of themselves.
And this was the first time, I do believe, that they actually recommended wearing a mask.
Right.
Which, that's like one of the few things I actually know about this.
Right. And then finally, the fifth fact that I have here: the second wave of the virus was the most deadly, and it was due to I'm probably going to say this wrong, cytokine storm. So basically, when the human body is attacked by a virus, the immune system sends messenger proteins called cytokines to promote helpful inflammation. But however, the body can be overloaded with cytokines, leading to severe inflammation as the fatal buildup of fluid in the lungs. So basically what we're saying is the reason why it was so deadly and it affected not only the older people but younger people as well is because the healthier your immune system might be, the harder it fights, and it floods your body with these cytokine proteins. So the stronger your body is, the more cytokine proteins it can produce and send to fight infections, and the deadlier it is because it's basically your body fighting itself.
Okay, interesting. I have, it's what?
Cytokines, I think it is.
That's well above my intellect.
Right.
That's science at its hardcore basis right there.
Well, it's just if you were in the science field, I'm sure that's basically probably a fucking.
You're probably sitting there looking at us like dummies.
Right. I mean, you can say every job in the world has the same things. Oh, you didn't know how to change a tire, you're an idiot. You don't know how to change your own oil, you're an idiot. You don't know how to work a computer and be able to, within a matter of seconds, try to figure out how to
as hopefully
create a video.
Could possibly maybe have at least figured out the video portion. But
Right.
yeah, so
everybody thinks
either
everybody's
way,
an idiot
it's
because they don't know
going
the
to
things
be
that
a
they
process. So as always, just bear with us, ladies and gentlemen out there watching. Anything else?
know. That's
Or-
all. That's all I got.
That's all we got. There we go. BangHead history. The history behind the Spanish flu. It was I knew very, very little going into that.
I hope
but
everybody learned something.
I do too. I mean, that's the whole purpose of history and STEM and financial.
Right.
Hopefully everyone learns something. So, ladies and gentlemen, I'm of course Gregor Guy.
My name is Casey.
And everyone, thank you for watching. And as we have both stated, we hope you learned something. Enjoy the rest of your day.